Today we're going to look at Magic the Gathering cards that are going to destroy the green players. Alright, so basically all green hate cards. I'll start off with Perish. This was undeniably just the card to like wipe out a green player. It always showed up in 3 or 4 copies in the sideboard. If you had to beat the elf decks, if you have to beat the green stompy decks, they have any green creatures out, they weren't going to have them for very long. Because for a black and 2 generic, it's a sorcery. Destroy all the green creatures. Leave everything else behind. Those creatures cannot be regenerated this turn. There will come a time when the voices of soil and the seedling will sing only laments. All right, whatever. Okay, Toads, next with Acid Rain. Oh, absolutely. It frustrates me to no end that this is a reserve list card. Destroy all forests. For a blue 3 generic. Combine that with, these days, Yavimaya. What is it? What is that Yavimaya card? This is a disgusting combo. What kind of... Oh, here it is. Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. Each land is a forest in addition to its other land types. Imagine having that out. Armageddon, everyone! I mean, I guess you could just play Armageddon. But this would be Armageddon in blue. Yeah, destroy all forests. They're not going to be happy about that whatsoever. And of course, you know, we get to keep our islands. On the reserve list. I mean, Boil's not on the reserve list. Choke's not on the reserved list. Flash Fires is not on the reserve list. All these... Armageddon's not on the reserve list, but Acid Rain is. Unbelievable. Okay, Yo Little Ted with Death Grip. Oh yeah, this is the black enchantment. Black enchantment. For another black, counter target green spell. You don't like counter spell? These days, probably this wouldn't work so much, to be honest. Back in the day, creatures weren't that uncounterable. There were some. There was like Scragnoth. For anyone who knows what that is, you're a complete OG. But for the most part, you know, the green cards were clunky, and they were nailed by counter spells. These days, everything's uncounterable, or has flash speed to help play around counter spells. Can we say that humility destroys green? You know what? I don't mind that suggestion. Humility. So this can work in 2 ways. Okay, humility is a white 2 generic enchantment. Now, it isn't necessarily hating on just green, but it certainly undermines what they're trying to do. All creatures lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1. If they're like an elf deck, well, they lose all their abilities, so they don't tap for mana anymore. They don't tap for anything. They have no utility. But also, if you're a big, chunky green player, well, now you have to deal with a bunch of 1/1 dinks. Everything you pay 7 mana into your creature. Well, I'm sorry, it's a 1/1. Okay, El Winter with the Death Mark. Does anyone out there like build every so often just builds a deck to beat up on their friends one deck? Death Mark for a single black sorcery. Destroy target green or white creature. Simple but quite effective. Okay, next up, we've got... Okay, by that logic, every board wipe hates on green. That's sort of true. We won't go that direction, though. Okay, Dystopia by Old Boy. Dystopia. Okay, it's a black 1 generic enchantment. Commutative upkeep, pay 1 life. Ugh! Okay, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a white or green permanent. If they can, I guess. If you have no white or green permanents, no big deal. Not going to be a problem for you at all. Does washout count? I'm not going to count. I don't like that one. Just because you can name like any color. Let's be a little bit more specific. Or, you know, if you're going to give me a card, you got to, you know, you're going to have to sell me on it. Okay, Nate with a Circle of Protection green. Not one of the better Circle of Protections. Pay a mana, next time a green source of your choice would deal damage to you, prevent that damage. Not one of the worst, though. It's somewhere in the middle ground. You know, it's not as bad as Circle of Protection blue, but it's not as good as Circle of Protection red. If they go wide, like if it's fine if you have very few very big creatures on the battlefield, but if you go wide, you have like a million tokens. Well, they're probably gonna have more tokens. You have mana to prevent. I think we just did Death Mark. Cosmic Seeds, Rune of Protection, green. Oops, Rune of Protection, Artifact, blue. Okay, here's Rune of Protection, green. It's got a better art. I'll give it that. Okay, Cory Mario with the High Seas. High Seas, blue 2 generic. Enchantment. Red creature spells and green creature spells cost 1 more to play. It's the Rhystic Study of... Actually, it's worse than Rhystic Study. It's sort of like a Rhystic Study for green and red creatures. Only for the fact that you gotta pay. You have to pay, but you have to pay. You don't pay, you get no creature. It's just how it works around here. Flash Freeze. Sometimes, every so often, now it'll show up in sideboards in standard. Blue 1 generic instant, counter target red or green spell. And mind you, you can hit creatures, you can hit spells, you can hit combo cards. Flash Freeze actually has a lot of utility. You'd be surprised how many combos start or the finishing move is a red or green card. Scape Shift, Indomitable what's it called? What's the creativity card? Creativity. Okay, it is Indomitable Creativity. So there's a lot of cards you can hit with the Flash Freeze, including Scape Shift. Scape Shift is a very, very, very important card. Does counter removal like Hex Mage count? No. I would say no. Okay, Underworld Paradise with Withering Gaze. It is a blue 2 generic sorcery. A target opponent reveals their hand. You draw a card for each forest and green carded. Oh, you get value for your opponent having some forests and green cards. Get it out early enough. I mean, it's basically going to draw 4 or 5 cards against the right opponent. Pretty neat card. I didn't even know this thing existed. Then the next question comes, do I really want to draw 5 cards off of 3 mana? Someone out there does. I know it. Okay, Diego with Sword of Forge and Frontier. It is a 3 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has pro red and green. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. You may play an additional land this turn. Basically impersonating the green players and the red players. It's funny, it has a red-green effect, but it also has protection from red and green. Really, really bizarre card. Okay, Christopher B with Defend the Campus. What? Oh, this is sort of a new card. White 3 generic instant. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. You want to get to out of line with your giant creatures? We're gonna blow them up. There's a price to be paid by when you get the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Okay, Nature's Ruin, like 7 beavers. Like the Avatar. It is just like 7 beavers. Nature's Ruin. Is a black 2 generic sorcery. Oh, it's another Perish! Destroy all green creatures. Oh, it's the Portal version. And it's 56 cents. I guess the problem is no one wants the real Perish anyway. Confounding Conundrum. I don't know Confounding Conundrum. I guess. Yeah, do you know what? Confounding Conundrum. What's the ramp color? It's green. They like to play multiple lands a turn. What punishes multiple lands a turn? Confounding Conundrum. Blue 1 generic enchantment. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. They're trying to encourage people to play these cards by tacking on draw a card on it. It worked until they made Up the Beanstalk. Alright, now, whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player had another land enter the battlefield under their control this turn, they return a land they control to its owner's hand. So you put an extra land in play, you bounce it, it just goes boing, right back to hand. Okay, Mad Magic TV. Dystopia had a cumulative upkeep of 1 life. Great card, though, in Necro sideboards against Urnhamgeddon. Oh, it was like an Armageddon Urnham deck? Neat. We looked at Dystopia. I'm pretty sure we looked at Dystopia a little while ago. Yep. Great card. Feedy Fox. Bereavement. It is a black 1 generic enchantment. Whenever a green creature is put into a graveyard from play, its controller discards a card from their hand. So you snipe off one of their creatures, and all of a sudden they realize, well, the party's not over yet. I actually have to discard a card at the same time. That's gotta be a beating. Because, like, you could upkeep. Imagine they're empty-handed. They draw a card for the turn. Then at upkeep, you kill their creature. It's a 2-for-1. It's an absolute 2-for-1. I guess it doesn't do anything by itself, but it catches up real quick. Corey with the hibernation. We have not done hibernation yet. You have a problem with green creatures? Well, we're going to sweep them away with the hibernation. It's a blue 2 generic instant. Return all green permanents to their owner's hand. So it hits the creatures, the planeswalkers, the artifacts that are green. Does that count? Maybe artifacts are still colorless. Okay, I can guarantee the creatures and the planeswalkers and the enchantments. And maybe, depending if paint turns servants on the battlefield, maybe some other stuff as well. Okay, Majra with Dreamtides. Dreamtides, blue 2 generic enchantment. Creatures do not untap during the controller's untap step. Each non-creature's controller may pay an additional 2 during his or her upkeep to untap that creature. Oh, so everyone can untap their creatures except green. Yeah, that's a little sad for them. That's too bad. That's the problem playing green. You got washed away with the Dreamtides. I guess they can't swim. Oh, we did Withering Gaze. It absolutely does work. All right, Arcanus with Nissa's Defeat. Doesn't it hate on like a Nissa Planeswalker? Okay, we have a green 2 generic sorcery. Destroy target forest, green enchantment, or green planeswalker. Now, if that permanent was a Nissa Planeswalker, you draw a card. If you need to beat up a Nissa who shakes the world, well, then you can cash in on it right now with Nissa's Defeat. The perfect card for the perfect situation. Yeah, exactly. No one can untap except green with the Dreamtides. Okay, we got Toads with Scarwood Hag. Does anyone play these cards in Commander? Like, the thing is, you guys don't have a sideboard, so it's like a balance. Do I want to play a balanced card, or do I want to play a hate card versus somebody's deck? We have a red 1 generic 1/1 Hag. Quadruple green, tap. Target creature gains Forest Walk until end of turn. Tap, target creature loses Forest Walk until end of turn. So this is for the green players, but also against the green players. Very weird design. It actually reminds me of Lord of Atlantis. Lord of Atlantis, it helps the Merfolk players, also destroys the Merfolk players simultaneously. Alright, Ben with Devastation. I don't know if this is specific to green players. It's a red 5 generic, destroy all creatures and lands. We could do a little bit better than that, I think. Just a little bit better, in my opinion. Insight is played in Commander because of it. Insight? What's Insight exactly? Insight, blue 2 generic enchantment. Whenever one of your opponents plays a green spell, you draw a card. Oh, it's the blue Rhystic. So it's the Rhystic Study hating on green cards. Play all your green cards you want. I'm cashing in. We can fight with you or against you. After my day, I'll prefer the former. Gerard of the Weatherlight. We did Acid Rain. Tracer with Frost Ban. They ban things within the lore. Okay, 6 generic for an artifact. Creature spells cost 2 more to cast. Jesus. That's a lot of mana. And creature-based deck, you know, they're already playing the ramp. They're playing the mana dorks. They're trying to get their stuff out cheaply. And then all of a sudden you say, well, no, it's not going to be cheaply. We're going to get it back to the level that it should be. Your 6 mana creature should feel like 6 mana, not 4 mana around here. You know, I don't think they would print something, you know, just looking at this card, they would never design this thing today. This was back in the day when they were, like, punishing you for doing anything fair or fun. These days, like, you know, the creatures run free. They're cheap. They're undercosted. They run wild. It's all about attacking and blocking with creatures. They would never dare design something like this today. They actually might even want to go back and ban it just for good measure. Ban Frost's ban. Okay, we got Underworld Paradise with our first super chat. But I don't even know what it is. Okay, I thought it would add text after paying. Flooded Woodlands is the card. Oh, it adds text if you donate $2 or more. If you're less than $2, then you're taking a gamble. By gamble, I mean you will not get any text after this. And then I have to go back and dig for your super chat. But that's okay, I found it. We have a black, blue, 2 generic enchantment. No green creature can attack unless its controller sacrifices a land whenever that creature attacks. They have to make some sacrifices around here. Attack or not? Hold on. So does you have to sack a land for each one? This controller sacks a land whenever that creature attacks. Instructions unclear. Okay, we have to look at the oracle text. Green creatures can't attack unless their controller sacrifices land for each green creature they control attacking. Okay, now that is wild. That's a beating. I attack. I must sack. Better make sure you have some creature that can bring cards back from the graveyard, like Ramanap Excavator. Is that what it's called? I think the Ramanap card. Seems very well. It wasn't clear to me if you can sack one to make a big attack, or you have to sack a land for each creature that you attack with. You know, back then, the templating, it wasn't good. It didn't make any sense. We did Deathmark already. We got to be a little bit more... I think we have to get a little bit more creative around here. Drana and Linvala. Goodbye, elves. There we go. See, we got an explanation around here. Okay, we got black, white, white, 1 generic, 3/4 vampire angel, flying in vigilance. 1 from the light side, 1 from the dark side. Activated abilities of your opponent's control can't be activated. And Dren and Linvala have all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. What, you want to add green mana? You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So shuts off, you know, any of the creatures that buff up your creatures. Also shuts off all your mana producers. First you have mana, and now you don't. Bernie with a flash of defiance. It is a red 1 generic sorcery. Players can't block with green and or white creatures this turn. I like red as allies with green, and then all of a sudden there's a weird hate card for them. What the hell? That's really bizarre. And you can flash this thing back. So basically no blocksies here. Toilet Duck with Homerid Shaman. The Homerid Shaman is a bizarre blue 2 generic 2/1. Pay a blue, tap target green creature. Really? The ground grew swampy, hooves and claws sank into the marshy earth. Snarls of rage and bleats of despair echoed through the trees as the waters grew higher and higher. This gives me opposition feels. Except it's a creature, and it only oppositions green cards. How is Phyrexian Obliterator an anti-green card? Okay, okay, I've seen this card. This was mentioned already like 12 times. Give me your explanation here. It says trample whenever a source deals damage to Phyrexian Obliterator, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents. I don't see this as an anti-green card. This is an anti... I mean... Of course, they are more likely to have creatures, but I mean, like, white has creatures, red has creatures. They still got to get through this thing. You guys seem to want to have Breath of Dreams, both Felipe and Arcanus. All right, Breath of Dreams. We have a blue 2 generic with commutative upkeep of blue. That's going to be a rough one. Okay, green creatures each require an additional commutative upkeep of 1. Wow! Okay, so... Whoa! So you do need more mana than your opponent. No, you don't, actually. Because if your opponent has a lot of green creatures in play, then they have to pay for each one. I mean, you're going to first pay 1 blue, then 2, then 3. But your opponent's probably going to have to spend something like 4 for the first round, then 8, then 12. Like, they're going to run out of mana super fast. Basically can't pay the rent on their green creatures. They're going to get repossessed around here. Once they repossess the green creatures, you're not going to have nothing left. Garbage Day says, this is an awful card in general. I hate playing against... Oh, you want Phyrexian Obliterator? Oh, yeah. No. I also don't like facing down a Phyrexian Obliterator. I guess green values its permanence more, but that's a big generality. It is. We all love our permanents. They just have big permanents, that's all. Jess with Nature's Ruin. Oh, we saw this one. Okay, Bernie with Permafrost Trap. Blue 2 generic. If an opponent had a green creature enter the battlefield under his or her control this turn, you may pay a blue rather than pay Permafrost Trap's mana cost. Also, tap, so the ability is, tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Basically, give them stun. This is the original stun, people. These days, they just put a counter on it. You have a stun counter. Do not untap until next turn. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to jail. But you get out of jail. Don't worry. You're just there. You're just in the drunk tank or whatever for the night. You'll sober up and you'll be out by the morning. Okay, we have Uncertain with Mirren Crusader. Oh, lo and behold, this has pro green. We have a white one generic 2/2 human knight with double strike, protection from black and protection from green. I really don't know what the point of having protection from green is. Black is great. You have protection from all the removal spells. Protection from green? You got a protection from beast within? I guess it gives it like some sense of unblockability, but you know. It's already a double striker. They're probably not going to be feeling safe blocking that thing anyway. Okay, Diego, Sarah's Emissary. Protection from creatures, game over green. True story. For 7 mana, you have a 7/7 angel that is flying, but when it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. You and creatures you control have protection from the chosen type. I know as a Merfolk player, I'm like a blue deck that's... I'm playing a blue like it's green. I only play with creatures. They play this thing out, name creature. I'm dead. I can do anything. No more creatures are entering the battlefield. Game over. GG. Well played. Stupid angel. Okay, we got David Sampson with the Dream Tides. Oh, did we do Dream Tides already? We did Dream Tides. Well, this is gonna be a hard one. Okay, Haunting Apparition from Christopher B. Christopher B is on, he knows every single card that's been named so far. We got black, blue, 1 generic for a, what the hell is this? 1+ star, power, and 2 toughness. This looks like an AI generated card. We have AI generated art, and we have AI generated power and toughness. Okay, flying. Haunted Apparition has power equal to 1 plus the number of green creature cards in target opponent's graveyard. This is a very weird Tarmogoyf. It is a 3-mana Tarmogoyf. That only works on my opponent's green, not even green cards. It has to be green creatures. Whatever. What grows, whatever green grows dies, and whatever green dies grows the Haunting Apparition. Damn is Damon Knox is like, good stream, I hate green. Yeah, green's gone overpowered. We gotta keep green in its place. They gave green everything. Is there something that green can't do? It tutors into play, it gains life, draws cards, it has the best creatures, has haste. They can even counter stuff with like Veil of Summer. Like, I don't even know what green doesn't do anymore. Okay, Pacers fan forever. Thank you very much for the super chat. The Reign of Terror. Reign of Terror is a black 3 generic sorcery. Bury all white creatures, or bury all green creatures. Lose 2 life for each creature put in the graveyard this way. Why do we want to lose our life? This is like this is like a worse parish. It costs 5 mana. It should be they lose 2 life. No, we lose the 2 life. I guess it's more flexible though. Back in the day, I mean, it would hit the white weenie deck, also hit the green stompy decks at the same time. 2 colors at the same time, man. 2 colors. We did Confounding Conundrum. Haven't seen any green Discover cards yet. Yet, that's the key. Yet. Cruise Neck with green doesn't double strike. I guess they don't wield any swords. I find that double strike always has something to do with swords. Lewis, life tap. Tap into that life. Blue enchantment. Whenever any forced target opponent controls becomes tapped, gain 1 life. This is such a weirdly worded card. Target opponent on an enchantment? I don't even declare. Okay, that was the ancient scripture. What does it say these days? Whenever a forced and opponent controls becomes tapped, you gain 1 life. All right, any opponent. I thought maybe one of this enters the battlefield. You have to choose an opponent. Keep a green tree in your heart, and perhaps the singing bird will come. Sure. Turiat with Jedit. Ojanin of Efrava. This is an anti-green card. Okay, green, 3 generic, 5/5, Cat Warrior with Forest Walk. All right, true story. Whenever Jedit Ojanin of Efrava attacks or blocks, create a 2/2 green Cat Warrior creature token with Forest. Wow, it produces the Forest Walks. They know the forest. They were born in the forest. They hadn't seen outside the trees until they were but a grown adult cat. I don't know. They were born kittens in the damn thing. Cracker with, do Out of My Way. Is that a card? Out of my, please do Out of My Way. I don't know this card. Way? Out of My Way? I'm gonna look up My Way. Nope. The card does not exist. Sorry about that. Tidebinder. Oh! Tidebinder Mage, of course! We have the blue 2/2 Merfolk Wizard. When Tidebinder Mage enters the battlefield, tap target red or green creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Tidebinder Mage. I used to keep many Tarmogoyfs locked down once upon a time with Tidebinder Mage. Man, this thing was great back in the day. I'd love for it to come back, but it's too harsh an environment out there. Too many lightning bolts, too many unholy heats. And on top of that, yeah, I've actually speculated on this card for no damn reason. I own about 800 copies of it on Magic Online. I bought them all for 2 cents each. I don't think I'm going to get a return on that investment. I'm really hoping that the wizard type can use it one day. The wizards. Yo, little Ted. The Eastern Paladin. Eastern Paladin is a black 2 generic 3/3 knight. Black tap, destroy target green creature. It's basically the royal assassin for green creatures, but they don't need to be tapped. That must have been awful staring this thing down. Like, let's say your opponent goes Perish into Eastern Paladin. Now you cannot keep any creatures on the board, especially at the mana cost that you know you're paying them for. And it's not like target opponent sacks a creature. They can just kill the largest thing on the battlefield. And back then, they didn't have any Beast Withins. They had to... Green players had to beat you with their bare hands. Bulky with Hunt the Hunter. The Hunter has become the Hunted. Okay, Hunt the Hunter. Green sorcery. Target green creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It fights target green creature an opponent controls. The family is fighting together. What are they doing? It's supposed to be family, not foes. Yeah, that one works. Destroy the green. Picking a fight with their own color. All right. So we heard that song. It's time to thank our sponsor today, FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week. Save 20% off all TCG sealed product. That means Magic the Gathering. That means Yu-Gi-Oh. That means Pokemon TCG. What else do they have? One Piece. They got Pokemon. Flesh and Blood. Also, mind you that this is only available to those in Canada. Sealed product cannot be shipped overboard. But you know what can be shipped overboard? Internationally, that's single trading cards. You can also get your Lost Caverns of Ixalan cards and anything else you need for your next Modern Pioneer Commander deck. And you can support the channel using my coupon code Nikachu to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Get that competitive edge. There's a new breakout deck in the metagame. Something like Zoo is making a big comeback. You want to play with Wild Nikachu, once was a banned card in Modern, then became unplayable. Now playable again. You can rent it with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_BA8. All right, back to business. Does Irene Singer do something about Irene Singer? It's an anti-green card. Irene. Oh, is this spelled right? Irene. Oh, Sanger. Sangir. Can't spell Sangir without singer. Okay, black, black, 2 generic, 2, 2. White enchantments and green enchantments each cost an additional 2 mana to play. To cast it. That's not an option. Tax the green. Tax him out of here. Patrick with Vel Drain of... The Sangers don't like green, apparently. All right, we have 7 mana. What are we nuts here? It's a 5/5. Then for 3 mana, Forest Walk and -3 mana. What? I don't understand. Oh, we're giving him -3, -0. Instructions unclear. Okay, Veldrain Singer gets -3, -0 and gains Forest Walk until end of turn. Very weird. All right. In exchange for making myself weaker, I'm going to make myself quiet and get around there. I don't mind this suggestion. Curse Totem. Screw the mana dorks. A lot of cards say, you know, activated abilities of whatever card can't be activated unless it's a mana ability, but not Curse Totem. Curse Totem says 2 mana artifact. Activated abilities of creatures, even if they produce mana, can't be activated. Your mana's not good around here. No one's allowed to produce mana. No cheating on mana. Some people tell me if they ban the mana rocks in Commander, that green would ultimately become overpowered because they have access to Llanowar Elves. What do you guys think? Is Llanowar Elves broken? I don't think so. Also, I think that should be a green thing anyway. Now that I think about it, Commander is just like everyone has access to mana dorks. Soul Ring is a mana dork. If not, it's better. Okay, Arcanus with, what is this? Redeem. Oh, the card was out of the way. Oh, okay. We've redeemed Cracker. All right, we did him. We got it. Okay, blue 3 generic instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a green permanent. So it's gonna, oh, you get a little bit of a discount here. Come in on Friday, you get 50% off. Return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. Draw a card. That's actually pretty good. If it targets, so if you target a green permanent, it's basically bounce this thing and draw a card. Flavor text, you bore me. So is the flavor text. Underworld Paradise. The Commander players are right. Because of the high life total and multiple players, the game is all about who starts curving huge threats or the game ends first. So ramp is OP if it's splashable. And what if the creature dies? You have to learn how to play on a lower curve. Because the thing is, in Commander at the moment, like, you got, I don't even think you guys even care what a mana curve is. 4 mana is basically 2 mana in that format. Or at least 3. You know, every mana rock is like 2 mana. There's a lot of 2 mana rocks. Green is only OP in Commander because people irrationally hate on land destruction. I guess so. David Sampson, Moat. Green doesn't fly good. It doesn't, actually. Green don't fly good. Very few flying creatures. Even though you would think that's a flying thing. Like what? Like, think of it. Nature. Birds. But for some reason, birds are a blue thing, less of a green thing. Moat. White, white, 2 generic creatures without flying can't attack. Yeah, green players don't like this one. Okay, Ecos. Let's get to some super chats. Mind Harness. Why kill it when you can own it? I agree. For 1 blue enchant creature, play only on a red or green creature, cumulative upkeep of 1. Gain control of enchanted creature. That is weird. Okay, so we're swiping the creature, but we gotta pay for it. And we have to pay 1 mana every single turn. If it's a really good card, I guess it's fine. Especially if it can sack itself. Birds of Paradise fly. Birds of Paradise flies, but not for a lot of damage. No birds in nature. Yeah, apparently they're all hanging out at the university, where the books are, with the intellectuals. Dario wants Wood Elemental. Are you serious? Are you saying this because it hates on the person who even plays it? Enters the battlefield, sack any number of untapped forests. Power and toughness are each equal number of sacrificed forests. Nope. Does not hate on green. This is a really good way to self-destruct your own battlefield, though. Did we do Nature's Ruin? I don't think so. Oh no, we did. Yeah, we saw this twice. Okay, Lewis, Ether Gust. I've never heard of Nature's Ruin until today. So every single time I look at this card, or I hear this card, it's like, oh, that's a new one. I've never heard of Nature's Ruin. And today is the first time I ever heard of this card. I'm very familiar with Perish. Okay, Ether Gust, blue 1 generic instant. Choose target spell or permanent that's red or green. That means something on the battlefield or something you've just cast. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. So the choice is theirs. Pacers Fan Forever, Sphinx of the Steel Wind. It is one of the best Tinker targets out there. Black, blue, white, 5 generic for a 6/6 Sphinx. Flying, first strike, vigilance, lifelink, protection from red, and protection from green. Not sure what the whole point of having pro green is, but hopefully it's useful. That's a weird thing. It has protection from green. I mean, it makes it good for blocking, I guess. It just doesn't make it very good for, like, what are you trying to dodge? I guess Atraxa? Atraxa's technically green. And she flies. Yeah, I guess that makes some sense. If you need to attack. Because I'm just thinking, like, what flying creatures are out there that are gonna block this thing outside of Birds of Paradise? Barbed back worm. Is this literally a worm with barbed wire or something? Sort of. Okay, black 4 generic 4/3 worm. Pay a black. Target green creature blocking barbed back worm gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Don't touch the barbs. Don't touch the spikes. Gotta use some skill around that worm. All right, Ecos. Title control counter. The Green Menace. Is that what it's called? It's called the control counter? No, that's so you put it all in title control. Oh, it's probably just title control. Okay, I found it. We got a blue 1 generic cumulative upkeep of 2. Any player may pay 2 or 2 life to counter target red or green spell. Oh my god! Play this ability as an interrupt. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. Any player can now use this to counter the red or green spells. Don't screw with them homirids over there, or these lobsters. What is it? Is it a homirid or a lobster? They've got big eyes. You never know. You can take them home from, they're smart, too. You take them from the grocery store, and you can raise it yourself. Okay, let's go to Doug. Rhyme Dryad. It is a green, snow-covered forest walk. That is insanely narrow. It's also a green 1/2. All right, yeah, it will pass through the snow. It knows its way around the snowy mountains. What an incredibly specific card. And this is a Dryad Snow Forest Walk. 8 cents. Basically, it's the price you have to pay to complete your Ice Age collection. They can't use green artifact removal on the Sphinx. Oh, true story. But they can use lands now, right? They can Boseiju the damn thing. Like, this doesn't have protection from Boseiju. But you're right, actually. I didn't think about that. Like, most artifact destruction is green. And so you'd have protection from the destruction. Oh, not mountains? Oh, yeah, it has to be the snowy forest, not the snowy mountain. No. Snowy forest. We did acid rain already. Squidward, Bogart Loggers. It is a black 2 generic 2/1 Goblin Rogue with Forest Walk. Black 2 generic, sacrifice Bogart Loggers to destroy target tree folk or a forest. They're chopping the trees down. You don't even get anything out of it. We chop the tree down. We should get some sort of, I don't know, a treasure token or something. It's not exactly treasure, but of course it's some sort of resource. Minecraft players would understand. You destroy forest, You get something in your inventory. And then you build something else. I think we did both of those. I think it's Seaga. Yeah, we did both of those so far. Yeah, we did. I'm pretty sure we did Noxious. Hold on, maybe we didn't. Did we do Noxious Gasp? Noxious Gasp. Sorry, Grasp. Oh, we didn't actually do this card. Okay. We have a black 1 generic instant. Destroy target creature or planeswalker that's green or white. And you gain 1 life. Just a little bit of life. It's like a little pad the life total. You know, you have 40 life. You can go to 41. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Someone to foresee with insight. Oh, we did this one. It's a great card. Love it. Solemnity. How does this help you versus green cards? Players can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. Okay, I guess what most proliferate decks or all proliferate decks are green. So this puts a hurt on the proliferate decks. Okay, maybe I can give that a pass. When it's not obvious, you gotta give me your argument for this thing. Otherwise, it just looks like some random... It will look like the Phyrexian Obliterator of the show. The Phyrexian Obliterator. It also kills persist. That is true. They cannot put the counters back on. Oh, we have a super chat from Fledger Moose. Leshrax Sigil. Leshrax. Ooh. I like the art. Okay, it's a black enchantment. For a black, whenever an opponent successfully casts a green spell. Okay, what the hell does that mean by today's standards? Whenever an opponent just casts a green spell, you may pay black. If you do, look at that player's hand and choose a card from it. That player discards a card. Also, you can pay black. Return Lashrex Seagull to its owner's hand. You can bounce your own enchantment? What was that for? To like dodge, I don't know, Back to Nature or something? They had wars back then. Back to Nature wars. What a weird ability. Okay, you cast a green spell, and then I get the Thoughtseize you? They discard... Oh, no. Oh, it's any card. You can take forests from their hand. That's wild. Yeah, Plague Engineer screws over green. Actually, it hits green hard. Green is like the color that has like a lot of 1 toughness creatures, particularly in the mana dork direction. And for a black 2 generic 2/2, it's got Death Touch. Enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. You might want to name elves. Creatures of the chosen type your opponents control get -1/-1. When they invented this card, like it was just being played against anything. It's just basically 3 mana, kill the 1 toughness creature in play, and all future creatures your opponent might have with the same creature type. Oh, and by the way, it's a 2/2 Death Toucher on the battlefield. Absolutely atrocious. Yeah, also green players hate this card, because like if you attack into it, you basically have to sacrifice something. Kill it or it will kill at least 1 more of your creatures. Okay, Toad's trying to get Sword of Feast and Famine on here. A classic. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Pro black, pro green. Deals damage to a player. That player discards a card and you untap all lands you control. Who's the lands player now? Who's got the ramp? Basically making yourself an artificial, what's it called? Wilderness Reclamation. Is it Wilderness? Yeah, it's Wilderness Reclamation. See, that enchantment that untaps all your lands at end of turn. Carrier creature type because it carries an object. Is that what it is? Yeah, what the hell is a carrier? It is carrying something. I have something in my hands. What a weird creature type. Okay, Liquid Soulfly with Blight Beetle. Is a black 1 generic 1/1. Protection from green. It's not afraid of green. That's actually, it's such a funny flavor thing. Like it's a beetle. I guess the idea is it's got a hard shell, and even if you stomped it with an elephant, like, it's not gonna break the shell. Creatures your opponents control can't have +1/+1 counters on them. Now, alternatively, if a human being steps on the blight beetle, well, then it's going to die, because the humans know how to position their foot to squish the damn thing. Okay, next up, we've got Alpha Nerd. Thank you very much for your super chat. Does Dark Heart of the Wood count? I'll find out in a second. It is a black-green enchantment. Sack of Force. You gain 3 life. Absolutely not. I do not see how that hurts the green players whatsoever. So we are going to donate the super chat to... No elf is getting through that shell. Human job for humans, exactly. Michelon's Tarash's chant? Tarash's chant. The hymn guy, right? Alright, we have a black, 1 generic enchantment. During your upkeep, pay a black. Or bury Tarash's chant. Alright, that's easy. It's not cumulative upkeep. Whenever a player puts a forest into play, Tarash's chant deals 3 damage to them unless that player puts a -1/-1 counter on target creature they control. What a bizarre hate card. It's not too expensive. Also, it's not too cheap. But probably they just put the counters on their stuff. Neat card. Tracer with limited resources. It's a white. Comes into play. Each player chooses 5 lands. And then they sack the rest. As long as there are 10 or more lands in play, players cannot play lands. Oh my goodness. Is this banned in Commander? Yeah, not surprised. That doesn't sound Commander friendly at all. You have like 4 lands in play. You put limited resources on the battlefield. It just screws everyone else over. No more lands for you. Does anyone even have... You know, I look at some competitive Commander games, and they only get like 2 lands in play anyway. The rest is just like treasures, mana rocks, soul ring. Maybe you can live... I don't know. At a competitive level, I think you can... Maybe you might be able to live without limited resources. Or with limited resources. It's not anti-green. Do you know what? You're right. Let's disqualify it. I got too excited about limited resources. Next super chat, Augie with Circle of Protection green. We actually did that one, Augie. And Rune of Protection green. So we'll donate it to Nate. Follow the Thran against people who seek the lands. White 5 generic. Destroy all lands. Okay, then chapter 2. Each player returns 2 land cards from their graveyard to the battlefield. Actually, I don't really see this as like an anti-green card either. I thought it was like players cannot like tutor for lands from their deck or something. That's how you were pumping it up to me. Did we do Flooded Woodlands? I thought we did. Yeah, we did this one. And it was you who suggested it. Where were you? I swear you were the one who suggested this card. Yeah, I had to look up the rules on this thing. Little the people with Nissa's defeat. Yes, we did Nissa's defeat. She got defeated. You draw a card if you defeat specifically her. Okay, Abomination. Abomination. Oh, it's this disgusting thing. Black 3 generic 2/6. At the beginning, at the end of combat, destroy all green and white creatures blocking or blocked by Abomination. We must move on. Looking at this disgusts me. Possess Centaur. From Voxuno. Okay, we got a green 2 generic 3/3 Centaur Horror. I don't see what's so horrific about the guy. Okay, with Trample. Threshold. Possess Centaur gets +1/+1. Is black. And has pay a black 2 generic. Destroy target green creature. This is, once they start destroying their family, it's gonna be a murder mystery on our hands. Although we'll just follow the breadcrumbs back to possess Centaur. I came in at 11:45ish, woke up late. But you were there! You were literally there. That's okay. Okay, Alexander, Glistening Deluge. This It's a black, 1 generic sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn, and creatures that are green and or white get an additional -2/-2 until end of turn. So let's stick it to the green creatures a little bit more than, or green and white creatures over the blue, black, and red. We did Acid Rain. Makes me realize there's not that much green hate out there. You guys go over the same cards over and over again. Okay, you heard of a leak? Maybe the Essence leak. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I leak some of my Essence about 5 times a day. We have a blue enchant permanent. If enchanted permanent is red or green, it has, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this permanent unless you pay its mana cost. It gives it like perpetual echo. That's pretty wild. Like, if you want to keep your creature on the battlefield, you basically can't put anything else on the battlefield. Interesting. Enchanted creature is red or green. They don't make cards like this anymore. They just don't. Is there a card called Failure? Oh, it's attached to another card. Return target spell to its owner's hand. That is not very anti-green. There's better out there. Google is being dumb for this episode. You gotta use Scryfall. What are your techniques, Christopher B? What are your techniques? Okay, Consign to Dream. Okay, redeem yourself. Consign to Dream. Okay, we got a blue 2 generic instant. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. If that permanent is red or green, put it on the top of its owner's library instead. So it doesn't go back to hand, it goes back on top. You can end up with a bunch of cards on top of your library. No more card draw. It effectively deprives your card draw. I don't think people realize that about these submerge-like effects. When you put permanents on top of your opponent's library, yet, like, yeah, they're drawing a card, but actually you deprive them of the card that they were going to draw that turn anyway. It's a lot more backbreaking. We did Ether Gust. Great card. Pyroclasm. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Even Mind Sensor? No. Isn't that's the card you can't search your library. It's not that big of a deal. Ooh, High Seas. I like the idea of this one. I like the name. Oh, we looked at this one already. Okay, Obnex Celeste. Uark, help us here. We have Writer's Block. Obnex Celeste. The Unshackled. Okay, 6 mana. For a 4/4, Flying and Trample. Whenever an opponent searches their library, that player sacrifices a creature and loses 10 life. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Obnex Celeste Unshackled. What is with this? Wait, I'm not really counting this card either. I don't get it. Is green like a tutor color or something? Like, I don't understand. Like, they have fetch lands like anyone else. They do tutor some stuff into play, like Court of Calling, I guess. I don't know if that's enough of their identity. I guess they do stuff like that. So it punishes... Okay, do you know what? Maybe we could go back. So what, you're punishing Natural Order, Court of Calling, Eldritch Evolution, those types of cards? Okay, so then we go back to Aven Mind Sensor, which is a white 2 generic 2/1 flash flying. If an opponent would search a library, that player searches the top 4 cards of their library instead. Good luck finding your tutor target in those top 4 cards. Also used to be okay against Primeval Titan too. You can't get 2 specific lands. You have to get 2 whatever random garbage you find off the top here. Ooh, Submerge. See, I mentioned it. And then someone 2/4C capitalizes on it. Blue 4 generic. If an opponent controls a forest and you control an island, you can play Submerge without paying its mana cost. And that's good value. Put target creature on top of its owner's library. Squidward! With Dryad's Favor. It's a green. It's an enchant creature. Enchant creature has Forest Walk. Basically, like... Well, I can't really say it's like Lord of Atlantis. because like Lord of it's a creature. You have to give. It basically target creature is unblockable for the forest creatures. Forest creatures against forest creatures. Ryan C. Green searches for lands and terrain. That's true, actually. You know what? I forgot about that, actually. Okay. So, even for searching for lands, very specific lands, this does hit. You guys sometimes explain it to me. I don't know all your ideas. Okay, I will agree. Search is a big aspect of green. You can't ramp out lands without looking through your library. Make sure you shuffle their deck. I don't want to see you guys not shuffling their deck. Ryan, did we do Tsunami? No, actually. I don't think we did. Salami? No. Tsunami. Hold on. This is a green card against... This is why we didn't do Tsunami. It's a green card hating on blue. Today we're hating on green. That's why we didn't do Tsunami. Okay, Augie. What a wild show today. Confounding Conundrum because green can be ramping. We did that one, though. We did Confounding Conundrum. Great card. So we're going to donate your super chat to... It's such a big risk doing super chats now. You got to go for niche. Everyone's got to look for niche spells. Grotesque Hybrid. By, is it Ferginka or Ferginka? Grotesque Hybrid. It is a black for generic 3/3. It deals combat damage to a creature. Destroy that creature. And it can't be regenerated, which was a green thing, actually. Green knows how to regenerate. Discard a card from your hand. Grotesque Hybrid gains flying and protection from green and white until end of turn. Wow, this really actually was designed to hose the green and white decks, particularly the green ones. We did do Nissa's Defeat. I think I've named Nissa's Defeat 5 times today. We did Nissa's Defeat. We did Perish. We did Acid Rain. I don't know if we did Burning Sands. Burning Sands! Red 3 generic. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller sacks a land. I would not say that's a particularly anti-green card. Life Tap, it has green in its effect, at least. The hell is this? Oh, we did that one. It's a good one. I like it. Arcanus, Woodlot Crawler. There's no way this is, like, you gotta think of all the Forest Walk creatures, all the destroy forest cards, there's a million ways to hose green. Alright, the Woodlot Crawler. We got a bug, and it's a bug for a black and blue. It's a 2/1 creature. It has Forest Walk, and it has protection from green. This thing knows the mossy forest better than even the green creatures do. Would Mana Maze count? Find out in a second. Players can't play spells that share a color with the spell last played this turn. Not anti-green. Too generic. Too generic. I see what you mean, though. Change the equation. It is a blue 1 generic. Counter target spell with mana value 2 or less. Counter target red or green spell with mana value 6 or less. So 2 or less for any of the regular cards. But if it's a big chunky red or green spell, 2 mana and it's countered. Very interesting. I totally forgot this card even existed. It doesn't look so bad. Could be modern playable. Have you done King Crab? I think we did. But I can't be sure. Oh no, we didn't! The King Crab. This looks like something I would see at the seafood buffet. It's a blue 4 generic, 4/5 crabby. It's a blue 1 generic ability, tap. Put target green creature on top of its owner's library. That's a beating. You could lock someone out with this card. It's worse than like a Royal Assassin type effect, because you just constantly put the creature back on top and they'll never draw fresh cards. Yes, fear the king. The king is a king for earn that crown for nothing. Here is you dropped your crown, king. All right, that's it for Coffee and MTG. It was a rough one today somehow. We got some cute cards though at the end. I liked it. All right, if you want to be part of Coffee and MTG, you got to be here weekdays, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. But also between December 20th and January 5th. What is the date today? Oh my God! Starting tomorrow, we're going to have Well, by the time, if anyone's watching us on replay, then it's already happening. You would actually have time to see it today. Starting today, December 20th, we're going to also do Coffee and MTG at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be there or be square. If you've never been part of the show, maybe this is the time zone for you. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to contribute to be part of the show. But we also have to thank the coffee crew who's here in the morning. Like Mr. Deadhead, Alexander, Uark, Toads, Kevin, Ferginka, and we have also someone to foresee. Naka, Michelon, Steve Cooper, Toads again, Alexander, Patrick, Crowcore Games, Achievement Slayer, Ryan, Oldboy, Kankusha, Reset Music, because you guys are the coffee crew, my coffee crew. So as usual, keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.